And welcome into the Golden Dawn Irish Nation here. Coach Dan Reardon following last week's game over Villangela St. Joseph. Coach, thanks for joining me. Coach, a big win against the Vikings,
Yeah,
and it was a slow start. What was your message to your team at halftime, kind of trying to right the ship?
yeah, we had a lot of uncharacteristic mistakes in the first half. We had, I think, 3 or 4 offside penalties on our offense, a couple holding calls, a little bit sloppy careless with the football. So, from an offensive perspective, it was just clean up our controllables. And when we do that, we're a pretty good football team. I thought our defense was playing pretty well to hold them to only 7 points in the first half. They're a very high-powered offense, and I thought our defense did a pretty good job in the first half. Gave up a couple big plays in the second half, but ultimately held a good team to only 17 points.
And of course, the kicking game was a big part of that. They had a couple field goal attempts, and so did you guys. And Anthony Tate back with that, what ended up being the game decider at that point. The field goal.
Yeah.
What was it like? Relying on a guy who can nail those 30-plus yarders every week.
Well, first of all, Anthony is very, very consistent, and from 40 yards and in, it's almost a gimme for him. He has a strong enough leg to hit a high 40s, maybe a 50-yarder. If he hits it well. Obviously we like to be a little closer than that.
Right.
But inside of 40 yards, he's been really, really good for us over the past 2 years.
And now you got Chaney this week, and it's always a tough game for them, no matter what their record is looking like. And it's a Steel Valley game as the regular season's winding down. What's the Cowboys looking like?
Well, really good football team, good skill, and they're a team that some of our very best games over the past 5 years have been against Chaney, and so they certainly have our respect. Our kids know a lot of their kids, and just familiarity with playing against them for all these years, and we expect a tough physical football game because it always is against the Cowboys.
Especially going into Rand Stadium, it's always a tough environment over there. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, I love playing over at Rain. So much history there, and you come out the tunnel. It's a really cool situation. The way the stadium is set up, both teams come out of the same tunnel, and it's a cool setup. And again, just the history and the tradition with that stadium. It's a fun place to play.
Right, and talked about the history, tradition. Both programs have a very similar, but also different because Chaney started their program back up about a decade or so ago now, almost that long ago. And you guys, of course, consistent, but they always have had a good athletic program, and especially in football. And what are you looking for from their team offensively and defensively this week?
Well, again, they have good athletes that have the ability to make you pay if you're not sound on defense, and their defense gets after it, and I know that again, just playing these guys over the past few years, it's always a challenge to move the football on them. And, they always have guys who can make you pay if you're not sound, gap sound, assignment sound, all those things. But, we're excited for it.
Now we're going ahead in a couple of weeks, of course, playoffs, not to look too far ahead, but you guys have the number 1 seed right now. If the season were to end today, of course it doesn't. So what is your message to your guys, of course, just this week, but the next coming weeks to finish strong, get that number 1 seed, and you go from there in the playoffs?
We haven't said one word about seeding in the playoffs, to be honest with you. This week, and it'll be the same thing next week. It's a Steel Valley Conference game. It's our, we're playing for a conference championship every single week, and in order to win the Steel Valley outright, you need to go undefeated in the Steel Valley, and that is our goal. We don't want to share it. So that's been the message this week. When it's time for playoffs, we'll talk about playoffs.
And with the Steel Valley title, on the line the next couple of weeks, you guys haven't shared a title since I believe your first year back, was it? And, what's it like? You said you don't want to share it, of course. Having, since then, every year you've won it, and, knowing it's not anyone else's, it's just ours.
Yeah, so if you go back to 2019, we won a battle against Chaney. I mean, going back to that game. Yeah, it was a great game. Saturday
and the Mooney won, too.
Yeah, and the Mooney game that year as well. But, that year we lost a double overtime game to East, and, came right down to the wire, obviously, because it was overtime. Yeah, 2-point conversion. It was, right there. They called our receiver out of bounds. It was, 50-50
Couldn't have been any closer.
Yeah, could not have been any closer. I mean, you can zoom in on the video and everything.
You still don't know.
And you still don't know. But, at any rate, it's been since 2019 that we've lost a Steel Valley Conference game. And I think our kids take a lot of pride in that. It's bragging rights for our conference, which is 4 Youngstown City teams. And, we take a lot of pride in that. So, that's the goal to be 2-0 in this SVC after Friday night.
And what's your message and your expectation for Irish Nation coming Friday night at Rand?
Again, just bring that energy. We appreciate the fans coming out. Our student section does a great job, and they bring the energy every single week, and we just hope that continues, and we appreciate it when they do that.
You guys can see the Irish and Coach Reardon in action on Friday at Rand Stadium. We'll have it here on YSN as they take on the Chaney Cowboys in their second Steel Valley Conference game of the year. We're here at the Golden Dawn Restaurant, and we'll see you next week here on YSN Live.